Sisters and brothers, I know so many of you are fighting seemingly endless battles with your city leaders over basic public safety. Minimum staffing, proper equipment, safe working conditions, a fair pension so our members can retire with dignity after a career of sacrifice and risk. In good times and in bad, it always seems like funding's tight, that public safety is not getting the attention it deserves. But I'm here to tell you that there are mayors out there who do get it. Mayors who understand that a strong fire department is the cornerstone of a successful community. Mayors like the one you're about to meet. Yes, he is a fiscal conservative. He is a Republican who has been mayor of his city just north of Indianapolis for going on 22 years. But not once has he shortchanged public safety. He understands minimum staffing. He gets collective bargaining. As a matter of fact, he encouraged his city's firefighters to organize and then come talk to him. Despite tight budgets over the years, he never called for layoffs or instituted brownouts. He always kept the lights on and the rigs loaded with firefighters. Through it all, his city has grown steadily under his leadership, and our sisters and brothers in Carmel Local 4444 are now the highest paid in Indiana. And they have a rock-solid retirement, as they should have. Sisters and brothers, please welcome to the dais the mayor of Carmel, Indiana, the Honorable James Brainard.
There we go. Had to adjust it for short people. Well, thank you very much. President, firefighters, it's an honor to be here with you today. It's an honor to be in a room filled with so many brave men and women who put their lives on the line every day. It's been an honor for me in my 22 years as mayor to be able to work with some of you. I have to call out my chief, actually it's his birthday today, Dave Hawbush, and our union head, Sean Sutton, they're out there somewhere. Some of the best people anywhere to work with. And they understand that this is a partnership. It's a partnership of service to our community. I've seen our fire department over the last 20 years affect positive change in our community through unique programs, community outreach, while at the same time achieving a high level of performance through the accreditation process. We all must, particularly the fire department, work together in a spirit of cooperation on a daily basis if we're going to be successful in our mission of keeping our community safe and healthy. The same spirit should be used when interacting with all departments in the city so that we work cooperatively for the good of the entire community. I think it's especially important while you're in Washington this week, but even more so when you return home, not to let politics get in the way of good decision making or team building. Throughout your work, or when faced with decisions, the main consideration should always be finding solutions that will result in the best long-term, not short-term, but long-term outcomes for the entire community. When you return to your communities, remember the goal should always be for the greater good. And a relationship should be established that allows all parties in the discussion to talk about how to do their jobs better. And that means the administration, the elected officials, the fire board, whoever that may be, as well as all the firefighters. As you know that I'm a Republican, my city has an elected Democrat since Abraham Lincoln took office. So our elections are decided in the primaries. But if your view of what a Republican or a Democrat stands for today is based on the extreme, and I repeat, extreme views of national politics, you can't truly understand the vast middle ground that's reality in our cities and towns. We joke sometimes at the Conference of Mayors meetings that there's no Republican or Democrat way to plow snow or fill a pothole. There's also no Republican or Democratic way to provide public safety and manage fire departments. It's about community service and what works best. It's about creating partnerships. When I'm wrestling with a decision, my main challenge always is how to do what is best for the people that live in our city. And that's what's best for the Republican or the Democratic Party, but what's best for the people that live there. Regardless of political factions, instead of seeing opposing viewpoints as a negative, we try to look at the diversity of ideas as a positive factor, because when you have different ideas and reasonable people willing to sit down and discuss those diverse ideas, will find the best solution regardless of party affiliation. What you're doing here this week is important because it gives you the chance to meet with fellow firefighters and representatives to assist each other as you seek solutions to common issues. It also makes your shared message more powerful when the majority of your members are focused on the same thing. While your hometown, my hometown, is a long way from Washington, D.C., decisions that are made here impact all of us. Particularly proud of the firefighters in my city of Carmel. They're true professionals who want to be the best in their field. When I first became mayor, we weren't organized. Some of the members, future members, came to me and said, we want to organize a union, and I said, is there a communication issue? Is there a problem? I thought we were pretty good, and the answer was no. We love everything you're doing, but we believe in putting the roof on when the sun's shining. I thought that was a good answer. And it's worked out beautifully for our community. Firefighters are able to speak with one voice. We work together, and the organization allows for progress that we wouldn't have been able to make otherwise. Whether your department reports to a mayor, town manager, fire board, or a different entity, it helps so much to work alongside each other with a clear understanding that the goal is better public safety for the people that we serve. And the union provides much needed direction and cohesiveness. The experience is shared by other locals, especially in the same region, can often provide solutions for us. I believe that negotiating the best pay and benefits for our firefighters will result in the best qualified candidates wanting to work in our fire department. If we want the best, we've got to pay well. We've got to provide good benefits. We need firefighters, as well as all other city employees, to be fairly compensated. We need to fight for proper equipment, for proper training, for educational opportunities, for a fair advancement system, and a good retirement system. But having a good relationship between the firefighters and the community as a whole is the key. Firefighters should be able to see that they're valued and supported, and the community needs to feel safe, to feel that they're getting the best service they can get. We made the decision a number of years ago. We were a small town, 20,000 when I became mayor. Today we're about 100,000. Some of our neighboring communities were running 2 people on an engine. We made the decision at great expense to the community initially to go to 4 firefighters per engine because of safety. And we had a community discussion about it. And the community said, yes, we need to do that, not only for our own protection, but for the safety of the firefighters that are protecting us. In addition to encouraging union organization, I understand another important issue, I just heard the governor discussing it, is the establishment of a firefighter cancer registry. We know from data that cancer is now a leading cause of death for firefighters, and the creation of such a registry will provide data to assist the research and examination of cancer trends among firefighters. Research and results will help us better protect everyone from this devastating disease. This conversation hits especially close to home as we lost one of Carmel's finest firefighters, Mark Robinson, on June 19th last year. A Rebel Strong initiative was formed by family, friends, community members, complete with stickers and t-shirts to help encourage strength through his battle with cancer. He's missed by many, and the impact he had on our community was evident at his memorial service. It was held at a local high school, auditorium, and overflow room in addition, filled with fellow firefighters, football players he had coached throughout the years, his family, and friends. Indiana had never recognized cancer as a death in the line of duty. Our local board, our local pension board, made that decision. We made that argument to the state board, and for the first time, his family was awarded the higher benefits associated with a line of duty death because of the occupational risk of cancer. But we need more data, we need more research. It's wonderful that Massachusetts has data in a registry, and we use some of that data when we made our case, but we need to do it on a national level. In addition to those benefits, we've encouraged and worked with a private group in our community we call the Heroes Club, which provides additional benefits through contributions made by the community for life insurance for those lost in the line of duty. Firefighters are a different breed. When others are running from trouble, you're running towards it with a goal to help anyone in harm's way. Across our country and around the globe, those in the fire service save lives daily. The best part of my job is the honor of working alongside our firefighters as well as our police officers who do risk their lives on a daily basis. What makes firefighters even more special is that there's no way to switch off their compassion and caring. I see it again and again. They spring into action if they see someone in danger, in a fire or other peril. Brockton, Massachusetts. We heard about the tragedy of the 6 deaths, but firefighter John McLaughlin received a call about a fire while on the way to work. He went straight to the burning building, and when he arrived, he noticed a handicap ramp. Of course, his training had told him taught him that someone inside may not be able to get themselves out. Once inside, without his turnout gear, by the way, he saw a woman lying in a hospital bed amidst the fire. He rescued the woman who was paralyzed and couldn't move, and he arrived a few minutes later, or hesitated. There would have been a much different outcome. Then there's off-duty Arizona firefighter and father of three, Kurt Fowler, shot in the leg while protecting his wife from gunfire during the Las Vegas shooting because he covered her body with his. And a little closer to my home, about 2 hours away in northern Indiana, Monica Kelsey, a firefighter from Cool Spring Township, created the Safe Haven baby boxes as a way for mothers to surrender newborns anonymously under Indiana's Safe Haven law. She hopes the baby box isn't the first choice, but it does provide a safe option if a mother doesn't want to face someone to turn over a baby. She recently got the chance to hold and look into the eyes of baby Hope, the first baby ever surrendered in one of her boxes. Then there's a member of my department, Orby Bowles. He just had a reunion a few weeks ago with a 34-year-old woman. When she was 5, she was with her parents at a Kmart store in northeastern Indianapolis. A deranged person had put a bomb in a toothpaste container, left it down low at a kid's level. She unfortunately picked it up. The bomb went off, taking off her left hand and taking out one of her eyes. As all the other customers and employees were running away from that store, our firefighter, Orby Bowles, ran into the store and was able to save her. And they had this great reunion just a few weeks ago. But that's the point I make. We recognize that firefighters don't run away from danger. They run towards it to help the community. What can we do then to help create safer environments which would result in fewer emergency calls to firefighters? It's kind of a joke in my community that I can't even give a short speech without talking about one thing that we've done that's unique. And that is we've built more roundabouts than any other city in America. See, it always gets a laugh. I'm not sure why. 115. We only have about 5 traffic lights left. Why do we do that? Because we're achieving an 80% decrease in injury accidents. Our jaws of life are gathering dust. We don't need them because we do away. It's all about speed, as most of you know. Human error rate's always going to be about the same, 1 to 4 per million. 100,000 cars through an accident, through an intersection every day. That's 1 to 4 every 10 days. 50,000 cars, 1 to 4 accidents every 20 days. The question then is what type of accident? You're eliminating left turns, the most common type, but the big difference is that a yellow light or a pink, nobody in this room's ever sped through a yellow light, right? Didn't think so. I haven't either. That goes away because you're flooring or accelerating to get through that pink light. At a roundabout, everyone has to slow down. So it's better for older drivers, younger drivers, more reaction time when there is a mistake. And when human error does kick in, and we can't change that, when human error does kick in, it's usually a minor crash. If the rest, so we have lowered, 20 years ago in the city of Carmel, you had a 1% chance annually as a driver of being in an injury accident. Today it's 0.22. We've lowered it by 80%. Had that been done throughout the state of Indiana, where 20,000 people would not have gone to the hospital last year. That's how many injuries and lives are being saved by that initiative. Some places, fire departments have said, you know, it takes us a couple seconds longer to get through those roundabouts. We have to slow down more. But our department took a very different approach. They said, we're saving injuries and lives. This is a good thing. We're going to work with the city to continue this initiative. It's another example of our department and others in the community working to make us all safer. I encourage you to go back to your cities and ask your traffic engineers how many lives could be saved if we replace lots of, especially the most dangerous intersections, with roundabouts. We're all in the business of taking care of people, making the quality of life better in our communities. We've found something that really makes a huge difference. Firstly, eliminating those high-speed, deadly T-bone crashes saves lives and saves injuries. Sometimes you'll meet resistance, though. People fear change. They resist having to change how they approach an intersection, to learn how to drive through one. Some fire departments say you just can't get those trucks around our roundabouts. Or our guys have no problem at all getting our trucks around our roundabouts. Do just fine. So I challenge you to challenge your traffic engineers to build safer streets. You'll have a lot fewer calls to make. We also, our department, to build support in the community, as well as just to do the right thing for the people that pay their salaries. They do a firefighter for a day camp designed to teach youth various aspects of being a firefighter through hands-on activities. We have what's called the Hoosier Burn Camp. Now, I need to explain for those of you not from Indiana, Hoosier is a name for somebody from Indiana. No, we don't know where it came from. But the Hoosier Burn Camp, they take victims to a summer camp, children, victims of fires to a summer camp for a week. We have a public safety day when the entire community is invited to learn more about safety issues. We do community open houses at all the fire stations. We have a new program, a community health initiative called the Mobile Integrated Healthcare Program. We were able to expand this service in 2015 from a grant from the St. Vincent's Hospital Foundation. And it's a public-private partnership with a private company in Carmel as well. And the goal of this health care program, as most of you know, somebody under the Affordable Care Act, if somebody goes back to the emergency room for the same reason they went within, 60, 90 days, the hospital gets fined, I think, $10,000. And so, in our case, the hospital is paying our department to follow up for the patients. One of the first patients discharged, a woman, an obese woman, had congestive heart failure. Our paramedics went to her house, asked her what she was eating. She showed them all these, what she thought were healthy soups, but of course there were high sodium soups in the cabinet. They literally took her to the grocery store and showed her how to shop for her condition. This is real community service, and it kept her and it's kept many others out of the hospital, out of that emergency room, which saves tremendous amounts of health care dollars for the community. We've had amazing results. One local hospital participating in the program showed that prior to enrollment, one particular patient had 20 visits to the emergency room in the year prior to the enrollment, and that was able to be reduced to 2 visits after the program was started. So having firefighters work hand in hand with medical staff and patients has had a positive impact on the health of our community. It may seem that working proactively like this for the health and safety concerns of our cities puts firefighters out of work. But we're all in the business of keeping people safe, keeping them healthy, and what better reward is there than to work with people before they find themselves in an emergency situation. That will not create less work, but more work, but proactive work that's good for people. One thing that I think ought to be of concern to this organization is climate change. How's that related to firefighting? Well, as we see firefighting firefighters having to fight fires in the west, floods in the south and the northeast. As the climate changes, it's going to open up a whole new range of challenges for public safety. You need to be involved in saying, look, if we believe the data, 98% of the world's scientists, just like we want to believe we believe the data in the cancer registry issues, if we believe data, we believe the scientists who have dedicated their lives to studying weather and climate change, we know that we can make a difference as humans as to how badly the climate changes and what type of storms. Now, we don't know everything, of course, but we know that we can have a positive impact on it if we get busy and do something about it. It's been an honor to be with you here today. As a participant in the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I speak to city leaders who place public safety at the top of the list of their priorities when it comes to managing their communities. I also see leaders who don't make it a priority. I am proud of my fire departments and all they have achieved. They became one of only 3 nationally accredited fire departments in Indiana when they first attained that status in 2013. And it's a testament to the skills and professionalism of those brave men and women of the fire service and to their dedication to continually improve their skills. I strongly recommend challenging yourselves to attain the highest level of skills you can. Let me tell you a brief story. When I first became mayor, I think it was the first year or so it was 22 years ago. For about 3 weekends in a row, I picked up the paper, Saturday, Sunday, Monday mornings, and read about 2 or 3 of our firefighters being arrested for DUIs. So I called employee representatives in, the chief, and I said, look, you've asked the community to treat you as professionals. The community, I'm not going to be your problem, the community is going to be your problem if we don't fix this. I can't fix it, chief can't fix it, the line and file guys have to fix it. And they did. Years go by now before we have an issue like this in our department. The union said, look, if somebody's had too much to drink, the union will pick up the Uber ride or the Lyft ride or the taxi ride. I tell you this story not only because it had a successful conclusion, but because it's evidence of the sort of partnership that we have in our city between the union, between the employees, in our administration. We say, look, we're in the business of providing really good service. I want to be able to go to the community and say firefighters need to be treated as valued partners and professionals. This is what you have to do to gain their trust. And they've done it. As a result, we have the best pay in the state of Indiana, and we have the best benefits in the state of Indiana, not because I wanted it, but because the community saw the value of our fire department, and they saw what great professionals they truly are. I'm proud to work alongside those who have made a career out of risking their lives to keep others safe. It should be our shared mission to discover new equipment, new training techniques, and other tools that will keep you as safe as possible while performing that duty. And the mayors, the vast majority of mayors of this country want to work with all of you to make that happen. Thank you very much for allowing me the time to talk with you.
Thank you for all your support.
Thank you.
Leading the way, get some of your colleagues to think like you.